Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing pretty well today. My name is Deborah and welcome to my channel, Crafty Chalk and Creations. I'm an independent designer of Chalk Couture, and today's video I'm going to show you seven variations of a home decor sign that you can make using this one transfer. The Aiden frame I'm going to be using is a 9 by 12. The transfer I'm using is a 12 by 18. If you want to use the entire design, you can do that, like on a banner on a different piece of wood or different project surface that you would like. However, I thought, you know what? There's certain elements I can use to make combinations or on their own just to make an individual sign. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I will have an edible shopping cart link posted down below if you would like to get this transfer. It's called Love and Coffee Company. And the Aiden frame, if you'd like to get that one, or you may have a reusable surface you like to use. The paste colors I will be using today will be peony pink, bright white, eggshell blue, and a combination of camel and bright white. I mixed this own color myself, but this is the camel and that's the bright white. So I had mixed these to come up with my own color. I'll be also using some placement tape and various squeegees. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I will be editing it. I won't be going through the entire thing where I show you how to clean and fuzz and all that other good stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, I've already fuzzed this, and first one is going to be using the element Love Coffee and the Everyday. Now you can measure if you would like to. You know me, I kind of eyeball things. I'm hoping I get this lined up properly. All right. Now, if you like this video at any point while you're watching this, if you could, please give it a thumbs up. All right, I do need to center my coffee. I'm centering my coffee more so than I will be the word love. It can be offset. All right. As I was saying, if at any point during this video, if you like this, if you could, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. It would help me with the YouTube algorithm. And why I did this is I was looking at this, and most people, you just see the sign as you know, the transfer as a whole, as just as one project. I wanted to show you with one reusable surface and with one transfer and whatever color paste choice that you would like to do. You could do this all white if you want to. It's totally up to you. You can make 7 various home decor signs with this just by using some elements. All right, I'm just smoothing this over and make sure I have good contact with my surface. All right, now I'm going to be using bright white and my mixture of camel and bright white. So I've got a couple of squeegees here. So I'm going to do white, and then I'm going to do this and my other color. Like I said, you can do this any color that you like. I'm just trying to give you some ideas of something you can do with one transfer and one surface. All right. Okay, I'm taking my squeegee and I'm going into my bright white paste and I'm generously applying it, scraping off the excess. And then I'm going to go into use my color that I mixed with the camel and the bright white, and I'm going to go over the coffee with it, making sure I have good coverage and scraping off the excess. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this up. I'm going to set my transfer aside. I'm going to make sure that this is dry because I'm going to put it every day underneath the coffee. So now that it's dry, I'm replacing my transfer and I'm using the everyday. I'm going to do that in the bright white. Now that I've got that done, and I'm going to lift this up and make sure that it is good and dry. And This is the first variation. I really like how this turned out. And I'm going to clean it off, my transfer and my surface, and get ready for the second variation. Okay, now that my transfer is clean and fuzzed and my surface is clean, I'm going to place this on here. Now I'm using the bright white, and same process. I'm generously applying it to the word coffee. And then once I have that done, I'm going to scrape off any of excess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up, set my transfer aside, and then I'm going to make sure that this is good and dry before I go ahead and place the rest of the transfer on. Now I'm going to be using the bottom portion. It says freshly brewed happiness every day. Now I'm going to use some placement tape to tape off just above, because I'm not going to use the ribbon part, where it has those little details. So I'm using the placement tape there, making sure I have that sectioned off. And then once I have that done, I'm going to go into the bright white. I'm doing this project completely in bright white. You can choose whatever colors you would like. And I'm just generously applying it and scraping off the excess. Now I'm going to go ahead and peel this up. I really like how that looks. This is the variation number 2. Okay, for variation number 3, I'm going to use the portion that has the coffee cup. And I'm going to be using the color that I blend with the camel and the bright white. And I'm using a small mini squeegee, or actually the mini squeegee. And I'm just generously applying it, and I'm going around that edge there where the cup is with also the mini squeegee. I think in the future I might use the multi-tool. Now I'm scraping off the excess, and now I'm going to be using the bright white in the center part where the illusion of the cream is going to be. And I'm also going to be using the bright white for those the steam wings on either side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to dip it in some of that camel color, that mixture, and I'm just going to touch it up there. And I'm going to peel it up, make sure it's good and dry. I really like how this project turned out for variation number 3. Okay, for variation number 4, I'm going to be using the word coffee. I'm just taking my squeegee, make sure I've got good contact with my surface there with my transfer. And I'm going to be using that camel color mixture of the bright white and camel that I blended, and I'm just putting this on with the mini squeegee. Make sure I've got good coverage, and then I'm going to scrape off the excess. And then once I have that, I'm going to pull this up, my transfer up off my Aiden Frame surface, and I'm going to make sure that this is good and dry, because I don't want to lay the transfer down and possibly pull up any of my paste. So now that that's good and dry, now I'm just going to be using the cup portion. I'm not going to be using the entire cup, but there's a little fuzzy there. And I'm just making sure that that is down very well on my surface there. Now I'm going to be using that beautiful color Eggshell Blue. I'm applying it with the mini squeegee right now on the front part of the cup, and then I'm going to move to the multi-tool, and I'm going to go around that edge there on the lip. That is a gorgeous color. That's called Eggshell Blue. And I cleaned off my multi-tool, and then I'm going to go into the bright white there and put that in the cream portion right there. And I'm pulling that off, and I'm going to dip my finger into that camel mixture and just kind of touch it up there, and then I'm going to peel it up. And I really like how this turned out. This is variation number 4. Okay, for variation number 5, I'm going to be using the bottom portion of the size C transfer, which is a 12 by 18. And I'm just making sure that I've got it placed on my surface pretty well. Make sure I don't have any little air bubbles or anything like that. I'm using my mini squeegee to make sure I have it down if there's a fuzzy. So I'm using the Eggshell Blue, and I'm going to be using the bright white. Now the Eggshell Blue I'm going to be using for the cup. And I'm applying it with the mini squeegee. I'm using the multi-tool to go ahead and get around that edge in the rim. I love this tool. Absolutely love that tool. And I'm also doing the ribbon portion, that little decorative touch around every day in the Eggshell Blue also. Now I'm just scraping off all the excess. That way I have good even coverage. Now I'm going to go into the bright white. Now I clean off my multi-tool, and I'm going to be using that to apply the where the cream goes, and for the words freshly brewed and every day. Now I'm going to peel this up. You can let this air dry, and I like how this really turned out, and this is variation number 5. Okay, for variation number 6, I'm going to be using just the coffee company portion and a part of that little decorative area. Now I'm going to use some placement tape because I don't want to get any of that other design down on the bottom, just below it. So I'm just going over this with my squeegee, make sure I have good contact. I'm going to be using all one color, quick and easy. It's that camel and bright white mixture. And I'm just making sure that I've got good coverage. I'm playing with my mini squeegee. And I just want those little sections. And I'm scraping off the excess. Make sure I have good even coverage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this up and let it air dry. I really like how this turned out, and I hope you enjoyed this variation number 6. Okay, and for variation number 7, I'm doing this vertical instead of horizontal. I'm using the word love. I'm using the bright white. I'm applying this with my mini squeegee, and I'm just scraping off that excess paste. And I'm going to pull this up and make sure that this is good and dry because I need to put my transfer down again. Now that it is good and dry, I'm using my backer sheet because I don't want any paste getting on my my design there. And I'm just using the cup. Now I'm just making sure that it is down very well. And I'm using that beautiful peony pink. And I've got my mini squeegee there. And I'm generously applying the paste to the front of the cup. And then I'm going to use my multi-tool to get around the edge there. And then once I'm done applying the paste around that rim, then I'm going to scrape off the excess paste. And I've cleaned off my multi-tool there. And I'm going to go in the bright white to put it inside the cup to mimic cream. I'm going to dip my finger into that camel color mixture with a bright white and camel, just kind of touched up there. Now I'm peeling that up and I'm making sure that is good and dry because I'm going to be using another section that says serve 24 hours a day. I'm just making sure that's good and down, and I'm using my multi-tool again with just the bright white, pulling that up. And there we go. I really like this variation, number 7. I hope you enjoyed this too, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this gives you an idea of various projects you can make using one transfer and using the elements of one transfer and one surface. Thank you. Enjoy your day.